Hi everyone, my name's Michelle and I'm Mama Loves You GB here on FlossTube, but also on Instagram and Etsy as well. Welcome to the Sunday morning briefing. Again, I cannot remember what number it is, and tomorrow is the 6th of August. How is everyone doing? Hope you've had a lovely Stitchy week. So this is my first FlossTube back after sort of a special edition one last week. So basically I've had 2 weeks off of normal FlossTube. So I've got quite a bit to show you. I've been to a retreat, it was my birthday, and I've just had a bit more time on my hands. So yeah, one thing before I get started, you have to forgive my hair. I was having a conversation at the retreat with Tan and a couple of other ladies about wavy hair and about trying to kind of cultivate wavy hair. So off the back of that conversation, I ordered the Merwave kind of kit, and it was looking really quite good yesterday when I let it dry naturally, and then I slept on it. But my hair takes ages and ages to dry naturally, so yeah, I've ordered a sort of diffuser hairdryer to try and get it to dry more quickly. I don't think I got it quite right, so it looks all right, but hopefully I'll get it to look a bit better. So you'll just have to put up with it for now. As I said before, we'll both bear that cross. Right, I don't know quite what order to do this in. I've got lots and lots to show you. I've got the stitching that I've done, I've got the stitching that I want to do, I've got some lovely stitchy kindness, and I've got a reasonable amount of bits and pieces of haul to show you as well. So I don't know whether to go chronologically or just, let's go chronologically slightly. So it was my birthday. I had a lovely day. We drove back to the Cotswolds, which wasn't quite so nice to do on my birthday, but I had a lovely birthday. I had lots of lovely gifts from my family and my friends. Nothing particularly stitchy related, although my mum did give me this book and some money, so it's very likely that the money may become stitchy related. So she gave me this this bag, which says Nature's Paradise on the front in Welsh, and she gave me this book which I shall enjoy testing out, which is Wild Colours. So it's all about dyeing fabrics with and yarns with natural colours. So I've had a little go before with some onion skin and some madder root, but there's lots more things in here that I want to give a go to. So that will no doubt form some future show and tells. Christina from Whilst Iris Naps sent me this beautiful sign which has all of our names on it. I'm not quite sure where it's going to go yet. It may go in the kitchen because it just actually goes so well in the kitchen. I'm trying to lean it against without knocking over it. There we go. It just goes so well in the kitchen, so it may end up coming and staying in the kitchen. So thank you so much for that, Christina. It was a massive surprise when it arrived because I had no clue what it was. Chris was like, "What have you ordered?" I'm like, "Nothing, I don't think." So yeah, and then I had to wait for my birthday to open it. So that was amazing. Ness got me some earrings, Chris got me a new handbag. Happy spoiled girl. And then on Saturday I got to drive to just outside Sheffield, Rotherham. Let's get this right, because apparently I've been getting it wrong. Rotherham to the Floss Friends UK August retreat. Now I think on my previous videos I'd been calling it Retford because one of the ladies had pointed out, she said every time you said Retford I kept shouting at you saying, "No, don't go to Retford, don't go to Retford." So it's Rotherham. It's just off the M1, beautiful hotel, dead easy to find, had a pool, went swimming. Oh, I just met so many fantastic people, but I'm going to recap on that in a bit. I think I'm going to show you some stitching because I'm sure you don't want to just hear all about my life's challenges and my successes at the moment. Right, so what have I been stitching? I have a finish, or a finish just for the moment. This is Stitcher's Garden by Teresa Koga. This is part of her Patreon. This was Patreon tier 4. So this is what it looks like. Now, the reason I say it's finished for the moment is because there is a tiny little bit of back stitch to do on it, or actually long stitch, and depending on what I decide to do with it will depend on how I do that long stitch. So it's on a piece of 30 count, I think it's Cappuccino by Weeks Dye Works. So that is what it looks like. Now, because it's 30 count, it's a little bit bigger than maybe a small pillow size. So part of me thought about making it into a bag. It's a pretty much standard frame size, so I could frame it an 8x8 frame, but I'm not quite sure what to do with it yet. The reason the long stitches go across each of the reels, and then they hang the hoops and the needle at the top. Now, the reason that I'm umming and ahhing and I haven't put them on is because if I do decide to make this into a pillow, I will iron on the interfacing and then I will put those stitches on the top. Because they're quite long stitches, the iron-on interfacing on the back will just help to anchor them a little bit more. Whereas if I'm going to frame it, I'll just put them on and then obviously stretch the linen. But there we are. I haven't ironed anything today, so apologies for that. But that is a lovely, lovely chart, and it was part of a pack of really, really nice charts that month, which was June. So that's one finish. This one would be a start and finish, except that I ran out of thread, so I've got to order a little bit more of this particular thread. So this is Modern Folk Embroidery Underneath the Christmas Tree, and I started this just after I finished the Santas. So I have finished the Santas, I have done a video about them, but if you've missed that, it's the last video that I did it as a special edition. And I took them to the retreat and I put them on the break table, which is not normally something I would do, but I did this time. So, not because there's anything wrong with it, just because I show people my stuff, so I've shown it. So that's why I wouldn't normally take anything for the brag table. I absolutely loved the brag table, and I think I look at it in a slightly different light now. My old brain was like, I've shown it. Why would they want to see it again? But now it's like, in person, some of the other stitches that were on there were amazing. So it's that one, and this is my almost finish. So as you can see, I ran out of licorice red just when I was doing the other deer. So I'll grab some licorice red and finish that one off. And I think I'm going to make it into like a teardrop shaped ornament. Would look far better if it was ironed, but when I show it to you finished, it will be. You'll see that it says January on the top there. I once started the temperature stitch along, and that was it, January. So the reason I stopped, incidentally, just in case you were wondering, which you probably weren't, is because I felt that the way I'd chosen to record it, I think I was choosing the minimum daily temperatures. When I got to the end of January, I just thought, no, it wasn't a cold January at all. And that makes it look like it was a cold January. So I was like, I don't like what I've picked to record. So I stopped. But it meant that I had the rest of this piece to stitch on, which I think is a 36 count piece that I hand dyed. It's not very darkly dyed, it's just a bit mottled. I'll do that bit in a minute. So, what did I stitch on at the retreat? I stitched on Stitch's Garden, but I didn't finish it at the retreat. I finished it when I got home. And I stitched on also this, which is called Disturbed Women. It says the Evaluation Centre for Disturbed Women Ward B, which I love. This is a Lucy Bean chart, Becky Nolan, and I've always loved this. I will change the spelling of the word centre, but I started it just after I finished the Santas, actually, and that's what I was going to explain to you. Just after I finished the Santas, I was in the mood for monochrome, or things with very few colours, because the Santas have got quite a lot of colour changes, just wanted something really, really simple to stitch. There we go. And another piece of unironed. Now, I say that I stitched on this at the retreat. I did, and then I took most of it back out again because I've made a mistake. And it was a pretty fatal flaw. Usually I will carry on, but with this being such a kind of simple but graphic design, it would have been really obvious that the text had started to slope down like that. So this is a piece of 32 count, I want to say. Yeah, looks like 32 count. That I hand dyed to match. Oh, that's going to blow out. There we go, back there a bit. To match the called for. Now the called for is 40 count Witch's Brew by Lapin Loops on Etsy. Let's fold it in half so that you can perhaps get the density. My fabric's probably a little bit brighter, but it's still the purples and the greens. And I am stitching it in sulky thread. Let's come back over here. There we go. I'm stitching it in sulky thread. So I chose 2 colours of sulky, which I think go well or complement what would have been the call for colours, which is Gentle Art Cucumber and Weekster Dye Works Purple Haze. So I chose sulky 11. It's alive. Sulky 1189, which is the purpley one, and sulky 1271. There we go. And I really like the way that it's coming along. I don't think it's going to take too much longer because it's just all text. It's quite a big text, but I don't think it's going to take too long to finish. Famous last words. Famous last words. And then on Sunday morning, I decided that I wanted a new start. Excuse me, let me just put those back in there. It's already chaos here, and if I leave patterns out, it's going to be even worse. I decided I wanted a new start. So I was like, what have I got that is just dead easy to stitch on? Because I'd slept well at the hotel, but you know what it's like, it's a hotel, you never quite sleep exactly as you do. I woke up in the middle of the night with a start, and I was like, where are the Santas? And then I just like, no, they're downstairs in the stitching room. Don't panic. Because I've been panicking about them, just something happening to them, because it would be Murphy's Law, or Sod's Law, whatever you prefer, for something to happen to them on the way to the retreat. I knew nothing would happen to them at the retreat. I was like, what did I do with them? So I woke up with a bit of a start. And then also, you know what it's like, when you were 18, you could go out all night drinking and dancing and wake up the next morning at 7 o'clock and go to work. Now I get a slightly awkward pillow and I've got like a sore back for 3 days. So I can't remember where I was going with that. Sunday morning, I felt like a new start. So I had this with me, which is the Drawn Thread Welcome Winter, which is a kit I bought from Chris at the Nimble Thimble. And she does them brilliantly because they're all done in dinky dyes. But dinky dyes, if you were to buy the whole skein, costs a fortune for these kits. So she just cuts what you need and gives it to you in the pack with the thread and the fabric. So this calls for 1 strand of fabric. No, 1 strand of floss over 2 strands of fabric. And that's where I got to. So I've got 5 letters done and I have started to do some of the stitching in between the letters. So what I normally do with these is I stitch all the letters and then go back through and stitch all the cross stitch that's in the each of the letters, and then I leave the fancy stitches till last because I don't want them to crumple, because I don't use a hoop, because I stitch in hand. Any satin stitches or anything like that, I don't want them to crumple. So that's generally the way I do it. The reason that I didn't get onto the M and I started going back on the cross stitch here is, can you see there's a tree in the middle there? And I couldn't be bothered to count. I couldn't be bothered to count to try and finish that M off. So I'll just get to the M in good time. Plus I didn't really trust my counting, as I had proved to myself with the Evaluation Centre for Disturbed Women. So that'll be the fourth one of those. I'll have done spring, summer, autumn, and then I'll have finished winter. I've got Christmas to do as well, but that will probably wait until next year. I don't think I'll be able to do 2 between now and Christmas. So before I get on to the bit that I've been stitching since the retreat, just a little bit of information about the retreat. Let me get my piece of paper. Because it was organised by Sami, who is Little Loops, Lizzie Little Loops, and Andrea, who is the Stitchy Science Tech, and it was just fabulous. It was fabulous. It was at the Holiday Inn, as I said, in Rotherham, just off Junction 33, I think, maybe, and the hotel was fabulous. They could not have done more to help us. They were constantly bringing out morning snack, then it was time for lunch, then it was evening, afternoon snack, then it was evening, there was coffee, tea throughout the whole day. Anything you wanted, you just asked them and it would appear with very, very quickly. So I went there as a sort of participant, but I also had a vendor's spot as well. But I just basically set it up, and then anybody who wanted to buy anything came and found me. I had some paper copies of my charts that I'd had printed. So I had a fabulous, fabulous table. Everyone was so welcoming and chatty, and I went round as many of the tables as possible just to chat to everyone and see what everyone was doing. What is actually incredible is how diverse you can have the stitching in a single room, even within a group of people who have joined the same kind of Facebook group. Because you think, oh, people who join the Facebook group, they're probably similar-ish, because they've formed a group already. But the stitching was just amazingly different. There were people stitching on 14 count Ada, there were people stitching on 46 count linen, there were people stitching reproductions, people stitching Halloween, people stitching Christmas, full coverage, all sorts of different things, kits, fabrics that people have made up, and it was amazing to just go through and see what people are stitching. Now unfortunately I have a huge list of stuff that I need to try and get my hands on now. That is the difficulty. I met lots and lots of lovely people, and my memory serves me terribly when I speak to people with names. If you were to tell me your phone number, I probably would remember it more easily than names. I have a real black spot with names. The first person I saw when I walked into the room was Lauren from Flossabilities and her mum, Mama Flossabilities, and they were so welcoming and gave me a big hug when I went in, because I find it quite daunting walking into a big room, because chances are I'm not really going to know anyone specifically. I might recognise people from FlossTube, and I recognised quite a few people from FlossTube, but I still find it quite daunting to walk into a big room of people. And big smile from Lauren, big smile from Sami, Danielle, Cardiff Stitcher I saw quite early on, lots and lots of other FlossTubers and people who I've discovered since, because you can't have everybody on your radar. So I've discovered lots and lots of FlossTubers since then, and I'm going to put a full list down below of everybody, because they're mostly, in fact I think they were all UK stitchers, which is really, really nice to find people who are UK stitchers. I'm going to pause, I'm going to grab the list that I wrote because my memory is failing me. 2 seconds. Okay, so Jess and Ryan, Cross Stitch and Smiles. So I wasn't aware of them before. I feel terrible saying that, but I've since gone and watched their FlossTube. Jess had the huge Gecko Rouge map, which she sort of unfurled, the world map, and showed us just how much stitching she's got to do, which is phenomenal. Stitching with my Littley, Kayla and Lauren. I've just got, again, not somebody that I've ever watched before, but I've been along and watched their episode and subscribed to their channel, so that's somebody new for me to watch, which I am super excited about. Rachel, Talking Dog Stitcher, again, I wasn't familiar with Rachel, but I am now. I definitely am now. She does some great floss tubes, so definitely go along on with her. We've even got a new floss tuber, somebody who's become a floss tuber since the retreat, and that's Tan, who is the monogamous cross stitcher. Now she stitches mostly full coverage things, so she is pretty close to a huge Harry Potter Hogwarts piece, which she was stitching at this retreat, and I'd also met her at the Bristol Stitchy Day. And I have to say, once you've met Tan, you know you've met Tan. She's got this beautiful kind of pink and purple and green hair, and it's all wavy, and hence why mine's trying to go wavy. I don't think it'll be going purple and pink. I've been trying to get this grey for so long that I daren't touch it now. But yeah, she's fabulous, and she's going to make some great videos, I know. As I said, Danielle, Cardiff Stitcher, I've watched quite a few. In fact, I've probably watched all of her videos. But it was so nice to meet her in the flesh, and she had a few things on the brag table as well. Who else? Silver Bunny Stitches, Rosie X Stitches, Crazy Cat Lady Stitches, plus lots and lots of people that I've met through Instagram. And that's the hardest part, is putting together people's Instagram names and their YouTube names so that you actually work out who folks are. People from all over the country were there. It was amazing. If you can get along to a retreat, you definitely should, because it's meeting people in the flesh is amazing. Lauren and her mum had things on the brag table. Lauren had bought Wise Old Owl, and Mama Floss Abilities had bought the Santa with the reindeer. Definitely the Santa. I think it's got reindeer next to it. And it was both just amazing. Something that I could never do in a million years. Beautiful full coverage. And I had lunch with Lauren and her mama, and they were just the nicest people. The absolute nicest people, just thoroughly enjoying stitching and the day and the people, and it was fabulous. So if you're not on the Floss Friends UK Facebook group, I should get onto it, because they will start to announce further retreats. There was another one coming up in April. I don't know whether there's any spots left. It might be a case of wait list. I can't go to the one in April, unfortunately, but I will definitely be keeping my eyes peeled for ones later on in the year. Right, what have I stitched on since then? I have stitched on Teresa Kogat's latest Patreon. OMG. OMG. It's Halloween, and nobody does Halloween as well as Teresa Kogat. So this is the one that I picked to start. This is called We All Scream, and I'll put pictures up of the other two that were released as part of the Patreon as well, because they're all equally amazing, but I picked this one to start. And I have started it on a piece. 2 seconds, let me just put this needle to the back rather than to the front. So you've got a big thing of thread hanging through. It's on a piece of 36 count Bee's Knees by Seraphim. And there he is, let me just put him, there we go, there's something behind him. Now, unfortunately the light is, there we go, Bee's Knees by Seraphim. Now I've never stitched on Bee's Knees before, so this is my cross stitch summer camp. The last challenge, stitching on something you've never used before. So I've never used Seraphim Bee's Knees before. I've used another Seraphim, but not Bee's Knees. So I've done the ice cream. I've done Halloween. Now I know they seem to sort of fade into the back a little bit, but I wanted to kind of keep it a little bit vintagey looking. So this is, I can't remember if I said a sulky conversion, so I've picked similar colours to the DMCs, but they're not exact. So I've got a couple of feet to finish, some extra stars up here, I've got the teeth and the claws and the eyes to do, and then he will be done. And he's marvellous. He's absolutely marvellous. Now, I am keeping him in a bag that I was gifted at the retreat by a lovely stitcher called Melanie, who gifted me a couple of bags at the retreat. So I'm going to show you those now, and my other Stitchy kindness that I received at the retreat. So this is the first bag that she gave me. All these fabulous bag charms as well. She made it all. And she also gifted me something wicked, which I can't wait to start, because it looks, she gifted me it because of the shoes. The shoes that hang in the kitchen, she gifted me that. She also gifted me this Christmas bag with the 12 Days of Christmas. Now I do actually have a 12 Days of Christmas chart, so I probably will move it into here. And this one's got a fabulous bag tag on it as well. And a bag from the Cambridge collection. What's it called? I took the tag off it. It's the museum in Cambridge. Fitzwilliam. That was it. Fitzwilliam. Which I think is in Cambridge. Correct me if I'm wrong. Which is a beautiful sampler house. So I was just bowled over by that. Another lady, Sarah, who was on our table, had bought me some Dinky Dye silks because she said that she just didn't get on with silk. She prefers over dyes and cottons. So she bought me some Dinky Dyes, which I am very grateful for. Thank you, Sarah. And then Rachel, who is the Talking Dog Stitcher, gave me a lovely card for my birthday, and she included a skein of her favourite blue, because one of the patterns that she likes that I'm stitching is the Ink Circle Sea Stars, so I will definitely include some Blue Jay into that one. Thank you. And it was, I didn't expect anything at all, but such beautiful stitchy kindness. Thank you so much. And that's just what retreats are like. There was a whole giveaway table, a de-stash table, where people had put the most amazing things on there for free to give and pass on to other stitchers. So again, if you have never been on a retreat, get yourself to one. Treat yourself, you won't regret it. Right, what else have I got in this pile of things? I picked this one back out because somebody had asked me which magazine edition it is in. It is the Christmas 2022 edition of Just Cross Stitch magazine. And as I said, I have cut the design a little bit, so I've just got the woodpecker. So I hadn't said which edition it came in, so it was the Christmas 2022, the special ornament edition. I have got a freebie. I'm going to hold it right back here. Ooh, there we go, right back here. And I'm going to put a picture of it up here. This is by Durene Jones, and this is on her Facebook site. She seems to put up a freebie most weeks. So if you're looking for a freebie and you like Durene Jones' style, then definitely go on to there. But this is to make a little cat biscornu top, which you could easily do a bottom with just the pumpkins on, or just the cat's faces, because usually the bottom of a biscornu is in a similar design to the top, but not necessarily as detailed. You could do same top and bottom if you wanted to, but you could just make it the bottom a little bit simpler. Right, now, because I am into Halloween stitching, I wasn't sure what I was going to do in August, but stitching that Halloween cat has really made me want to stitch some Halloween. So I pulled out 2 or 3 pieces that I really want to get finished this August, ready for Halloween. The first one is, oops. The first one is the Tiny Modernist Halloween cross stitch from last year. Now let me see if I've actually got a full picture of it, because I may not have even printed out the last one. Oh please. No, I haven't. So let's show you something that will help you to recognise it. It's that one. So up in the middle, if I remember rightly, it was a black cat sat on a pumpkin. So I would like to try and get this one finished off. It's stitched on a piece of 32 count grey that I dyed myself. So as you can see, there's not that much left to do really. There is just what's in the crystal ball and then a bit of work down there on the skull. So I think I can finish that off in August. Because the Halloween stitchy bow just kind of hit me. As soon as I saw that Teresa Kogut one and started stitching it, then I was in love. I also, and again I haven't got an up-to-date one for this one. Oh, I have, there it is. A long time ago I started Clouds Factory Halloween Parade 4. No, that is number 4, as in this is the 4th part. So I started this one a long time ago. Does it even say a year on it? No. And this is what it looks like. Ooh. It's a nice bit of fabric, Michelle. Remember dyeing the fabric. It's a piece of 32 count and I've done the border and a bit of one of the pieces. So there's another 4 to go on, well 3 to go on. So I'd like to finish that off because I keep looking around at all these lovely Halloween charts. Cosford Rise Stitchery have got some amazing ones. I still haven't rolled those out, by the way. But I'm thinking I've got Halloween things that need finishing. I've also got, and would like to get done, oops, in fact there might even be 2 in here that I've started, these Satsuma Street Halloween charts. So I've got that one on the go. So I'd like to get that one finished. I would also like to do, because I loved this when it came out, and I haven't really stitched on it, October's Party by Little House Needleworks. I have started it, and it says October gave a party, but I haven't finished it, as you can see. So I'd like to get that, some good work done on that. I have also started, this is the most pathetic start, Hocus, from the Spooky Smalls from Primrose Cottage Stitches. I'd like to get a couple of those done. That's the one I started, Hocus Pocus Broom Company. It's the smallest thing, so it shouldn't take that long. So I'd like to get a couple of those done. I think I'm well up on my Christmas ornaments, so I might not, ooh, low battery, I hope you didn't see it. That didn't come up for you. I might get a couple of them done. And then, no, I'm not going to show you that one because I'm not going to get it finished. It's too big. So those are the things I'd like to try and get finished in August. Now, carrying on with the theme of Halloween, I bought a couple of patterns from the Witchy Stitcher. Now, you can go and read for yourself, but Meg, who owns the Witchy Stitchers, had a bit of health news. Not the greatest health news. So I thought, well, I sent a message, but also I thought, well, this I can do to support is to buy a couple of patterns. So this one, I've been looking out for this one for a while. I think was it a Patreon? Or did I just think it was a Patreon to begin with? But somebody had stitched it and put it on the brag table. And again, I just loved it. So it's called Summer Sucks. So I bought that one. And I bought Frosted Pumpkin Cottage as well. I really like crossover Christmas to Halloween designs. I haven't really stitched many, but I really like them. So I got those. I also got my Fabric of the Month Club. Oh, that's showing well. This is from Fabrics by Crafty Kate. There we go. I'm even looking at the tag. And I get a 32 count 8th every month. So that's definitely going to end up with something Halloweeny on it, I would imagine. I also became part of the Chromatic Alchemy Fabric of the Month Club. And I get 32 count fat quarter, and this is the one for July. Yeah, it's called Erebos. So I get 32 count linen. It looks grey, and it sort of is, but it's also a bit purpley as well. So I'm going to find something to stitch on that. Potentially the Summer Sucks chart might end up on there. I also picked this up from eBay because it was a lovely Santa portrait that I hadn't seen. It's by Weekenders, and I just liked him as the man in the moon. It comes with everything you need to stitch it, including the mount. It comes with 14 count Ada, which I will probably switch out for 28 count even weave. But love, love, love. See, the Santas haven't gone completely. I then, what else have I got? Oh, couple of, well, no, this is a stitchy thing. Boxes. IKEA. I saw these pop up in the new IKEA. And until one of the ladies said on Sunday morning, I didn't realise the IKEA in Sheffield was so close. Otherwise I'd have gone and picked them up rather than ordering them. But they are metal tins. They've got a cork lid, or cork bit to the lid. But the thing that I like is that there's a recess to the top of the tin. Perfect for a stitchy piece. So that's the smallest one, which has got the a plain inside. This is the middle size one, and they come in these colours, so these are the colours. This is the middle size one, which I half wonder whether it would fit the wheel screen one. I might check that out. And this one has got a divided inside to it, so great for stitches and bobs. And I have checked as well, they do also, and you can't see me doing that, but they do also stand up on their own. So you could, if you wanted to display it, you could just stand it up. And this is the big one. So this is the big one. And this one is just plain inside as well. I also picked up some half moon reading glasses. I find my heavy magnifiers exactly that, too heavy. And so I ordered some readers from Amazon. And then within about 10 minutes, I'd given myself the mother of all headaches, because what I didn't realise I was doing was looking up at the TV, looking over at the chart, and then using the bottom part of the reader. So I decided to just get the bottom part of the reader. Now this is from a company called London Mole. I got these ones because they were slightly funky. And so these are the 2.5s. So perfect for looking over stitching. And I never really realised, while Nicola from Hands Across the Sea had half moons, and now I do. So they are perfect. Focusing here, looking at the chart there, watching the telly. Love, love, love. Now the other thing, the last thing I'm going to show you, which is nothing to do with stitching, just an offer that I've had that I'm going to pass on to you. Purdy and Fig. Love Purdy and Fig. If you've not seen it advertised, then I'm not quite sure what your algorithms are like, because mine constantly show Purdy and Fig. It's basically a cleaner which uses natural oils and natural substances, and you can clean everything with it. Now, these are the oils that I got with mine, or the scents that I got with mine. So I got the new lavender one, the new citronella one, which is supposed to get rid of flies, and the geranium one. So they come together in a set of 3 with a bottle and a cloth, which I've got somewhere else. Oh, there it is. And it's like 15 quid on special offer. Now they sent me a code which gives anybody who uses the code or the link £10 off their first order. So this is my second order of Purdy and Fig. I absolutely love it. I realise it's not necessarily as cheap as cleaners be, so I thought if I put it down, my link down below, if you've been thinking about trying Purdy and Fig, then you might as well grab the £10 off. Anyway, that will be all for today. I do have for next week a giveaway from Ruthie from Crow's Feet Stitching, because she has released some new charts. I decided not to do it this week because things were just a little bit higgledy-piggledy today, so we'll look at those properly next week. But go on to Ruthie's social media and have a look. They're amazing, as they always are from Ruthie. Right, I'll see you next week. Stay classy, Stitchers.